Hello, everybody. It feels a bit weird starting off the show with that intro, because I'm not in it. But welcome aboard to the Dan and Anton show. This is a brand new show, second edition, that we'll be doing every single week. We're here for your morning positivity. If you're a Gooner, we got the FA Cup coming up this weekend. It's been a long international break full of just news. I'm kind of sick of it. I don't know about you, brother, but we're here to lift your spirits and get you guys fired up for the last part of the season. I'm Anton. I'm here with Dan. How you going, buddy?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I just made myself a nice cup of tea, and I usually have my tea strong, right? I know over in Australia, I'm not sure if what their tea's like, because I know you don't have it in.
We're coffee people here.
Coffee people, yes. I've had a tea, but I usually have my tea very strong with just a drop of milk. And as I put in the milk in, a load's dropped in. So I've got what they call over in London a builder's milky tea. Yeah, it's like a very milky tea, a builder's tea they call it. But yeah, I'm feeling good, man. I enjoyed our show last night. I thought that was a really good show. Towards the end of the show, I had to go down and do something, but I was listening, and you and Dan thought there was some great conversations in there, man. To be honest, we got a raid from Potts, which was really good. So I mean, you guys kept them guys entertained right until the end. We had about 200 people watching, which was really good. Yeah, it was a good show, man. I mean, you and Jez, there's some bits to get clipped up there for sure.
Man, the whole Jez wanting Arteta sacked even if win the league, I still can't get my head around that.
But the thing is with Jez, right? He plays on it sometimes, and also what he does is he doesn't listen to what my dad does it. So I think it could be an age thing sometimes. He doesn't listen to what you're saying and just goes with what he's saying, and that's it. Does not listen to the facts you're making, but listen, big up Jez.
I brought up parade just to like create a picture of him at the parade with an Arteta out sign.
Yeah.
And he's like, how many parades have you gone to? I'm like, all right.
Yeah. He's good stuff though, man. But yeah, and also with the intro, of course, you're working on a new intro, guys. So there will be a new intro soon. And this show will be coming to you weekly. So just get your notifications on. We're going to be here. We've got our Monday show, obviously at 9 o'clock. And we'll be back Tuesday morning at 10 o'clock English time and Australian time. What time is it where you are now, my bro?
8 o'clock.
8 p.m.?
8 o'clock. Yeah, 8 p.m.
Wow.
So it is late. We're reversing the roles. We started, I think, at 8 p.m. Your time this morning's show, right?
Yeah.
Or last night's show.
Yeah. We're reversing the roles. Good stuff, man.
Yeah. So
Anton, you're going to take the lead today with this show. You've got a great show planned out for us. Just let the viewers know what we're going to be going through.
So yeah, we've got some big topics coming up today. So you'll know exactly what's on the list. So stay tuned. We're going to be talking about, hey, you think that me and Dan run when the things don't go right. We're going to talk about the things that didn't go right at Wembley, and also kind of want to get Dan's insight on what it's like, for some of you guys have never been to the Arsenal, what it's like a day out at Wembley at a cup final. So Dan will kind of give you that sort of insight. And as we do, as you see in the title, okay, the quad's done. The treble. We're going to talk about the treble. Can Arsenal go ahead and still win the treble? Can we rebound and win all the other three? We're going to take a look at the Premier League, the Champions League, the FA Cup, and a kind of preview kind of this last portion of the season. And my boy Victor Gyökeres scored a hat trick for Norway. So we'll talk about that. How does that impact Arsenal, of course, his
Big
former
game
club
tonight
is,
for him. Big game tonight
yeah,
for him against
massive game
Poland.
tonight for him. But how's that going to impact his form for Arsenal going forward this season? And of course, we're going to have a trip to his former backyard in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. And of course, we're going to talk about the Southampton game, the FA Cup, and we're going to have a special feature because all you guys have been wondering, hey, are the Arsenal players injuries? Are we faking these or are they real injuries? Are there real cause for concern? So we're going to play a game of real or fake in the middle of that. And yeah, the Hand of Arsenal has given some great intel on all that this morning. But as before we do anything, make sure you're hitting the like button and subscribing to both Goose Therapy and Fire Them Cannons, whichever stream you're watching. Make sure you're hitting the like and subscribing to both of them. It'll do us absolutely the most. Like, how many subs are you on now, Dan?
I believe we're on 17.55 now. I haven't
Yeah.
checked this morning, but we're nearly up to 2K. So listen, when we were about 1400, I said I don't think we're going to get to the positive. Dan wasn't being very positive, and I said I'm not sure we'll get to 2K because it was going a bit slowly, but suddenly we've picked up a bit of pace. We're now about 240 away from 2000. So listen, I think we could do it before the end of the season.
Yeah, well, I'm super jealous because Fire Them Cannons is about at 150 right now, but I do feel that Fire Them Cannons has got a lot of good content and the community has been
Do you know what
growing
I
and
would say about the 150 you've got though? I would say that there are people that watch a lot more because when I watch your live, sometimes I see 10, 12, 13 people watching. And I remember when we had 150, we had 2 people watching. So I
yeah.
think you've got a good listen. Sometimes you could have, I see some people with, and it's great to have the subscribers, and it looks great, and it probably helps you get deals or whatever, and helps you get recognized. But I see a lot of people with 70,000 subscribers, 80,000, and sometimes only 50 people watching. And then obviously, I look at us, we haven't even got 2K. And, last night on our stream before the raid, we had 60 or 70 people watching. So it's all well and good and getting the subs, but you want to get those subs that are loyal and coming back. On my channel now, there's 9 people now watching. Those 9 people now, they're always there at the start. And do you know what? They always hit the like. Because whenever I first go in, the first 5 minutes, we've always the like and the views is always the same sort of ratio, So big up all you guys, man. Big up
And a great
JT.
example of that is JT, who's been filling up the chat box already in this early portion of this show. Yeah, the
Look,
first 5 to 10K. Yeah.
I agree, man.
I think the first 1,000 is the hardest. I think
that's a great point there that he makes. And big up SJ, man. We're gonna get him on. We're gonna get you on this show soon, my friend.
Yeah.
Once me and Anton once we've got the show rolling, we will start bringing on guests.
Yeah, definitely. And other Dan will be on here as well at times for sure. We'll chop it up. All right, let's start with the first topic because we got to get this ball rolling. And yeah, okay. The last time me and Dan were on here, we were talking about the possibility of the quad. Well, that's 2 weeks on now, and well, for about a week we're trying to realize that the quad is not happening. Arsenal lose 2-0 to Man City at Wembley. Dan, take me through that day. Actually, I want to kind of hear what's it like, first of all, before we start talking about the depressing stuff. What's it like going to Wembley for a cup final, like as a fan, like the day, the experience? Fill the people in quickly on what that's like.
No, I'm sure that some people watching will have probably experienced it. I'm sure SJ was there. Now, listen, my experiences of Wembley, I went there in 2012 actually for the Olympics, I believe. That was the Olympic Stadium. Did I go to Wembley? I can't actually remember. I was so young then. But my first experience of Wembley would have been when we played in it for an Arsenal game anyway. Would have been when we played Wigan in the semi-finals of the FA Cup. And we were actually losing that game 1-0. And then Per Mertesacker, of all people, scored a late goal to take it to extra time. And we beat Wigan on penalties. And yeah, I mean, just that was for a semi-final. I then went to the final, which was a totally different kettle of fish. there's just something about you get off at the train station, and when you get off, there's a big, big arch, a big long arch, and you just get that feeling as soon as you step off, as soon as you walk through those barriers. There's a load of police there. There's a loads of fans. You hear the rival fans. You hear your own fans. You just hear that noise, and it's just something special about walking down that arch, especially on a cup final day. And it really is just something special. And it's kind of like, you go to a really good party and you try and tell someone about it, but you can't really describe it to them because you had to be there, sort of thing. So I'm doing my best here, but it's really special. And then you get the smell of the food. There'll be hot dogs and burgers on the way, and you get that whiff, and you just keep walking. Then you've got Box Park to the right, which is you go in there, and then they've got obviously drinks and beers and stuff. And it's just this, once you actually enter the stadium, it is a magical feeling. The stadium itself, it's I prefer the Emirates. That's because it's my home, of course.
Hmm.
But we've done brilliantly at Wembley. In 2017, I was there when Arsenal beat Chelsea 2-1. And look, I will come back to that at some point. I'll do it now because we're talking about the quad, right?
Hmm.
And we're talking about how bad of a defeat that was. That game I was at, Chelsea won the league that year with 95 points, and we were underdogs. I think we finished fifth that year. It was Arsene Wenger, but I believe that's the year he should have went. We had Perma, Asaka, and Rob Holding at the back.
Oh my God.
I think Oxlade-Chamberlain was playing left wing back. We won the game, right? Aaron Ramsey scoring again. Sanchez scored to put us for. As soon as I walked in the stadium, he actually scored. And it was a magical day, it really was. But listen, we beat that Chelsea team. Were we better than that Chelsea team? No. But we
No
beat them on
way.
the day. We beat them
Diego
on the day.
Costa and
Anything could
Cesc
happen in the cup
Fabregas.
final. Chelsea didn't turn up that day at all. We were 2-0 up. They went down to 10 men. Then I think Diego Costa got one back, but it wasn't enough. So yeah, look, it's great. And I think we could be back at Wembley because if we win on Saturday, we're back at Wembley. It's only the semi-finals, but we'll be back there. And listen, some people have said, no, Dan doesn't want it. I want to face Manchester City in the FA Cup final. But Wembley, yeah, it's a special, special place. Arsenal, I've been there for Community Shields as well. I was there when we beat Manchester City on penalties. It's not quite the same. But that FA Cup final, I went there when we lost to City in the Carabao Cup final. And I do have to say, though, people might say I'm just saying this now. The FA Cup final at Wembley is just so different to a Carabao Cup final. Even on the way, right? Even on the way, just the nerves are way more. Usually when it's the Carabao Cup final, there's still more to play for. FA Cup final, whether this year I know it's before the last game of the season, but it's usually right towards the end of the season, if not the last game of the season. And it's just extra special, the FA Cup, isn't it? So the FA Cup at Wembley, anything at Wembley is special. But for me, the FA Cup at Wembley is the oldest competition in the world. You cannot beat an FA Cup final at Wembley.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Except for the one that you were at. Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about it because obviously Dan had this whole video about fake Arsenal fans and real Arsenal fans, and we look, me and you, last time we spoke, we said how critical and important it was to go ahead and win this game, how it could have both positive and negative effects on the season, but mainly positive. I think basically what we said, which by the way, ignored at the time, which was we're 9 points clear right now. This is now a matter of do we win a trophy or not, rather than this will have massive implications on the title race. And something that has kind of annoyed me, the narrative in recent days, which is just people just glazing over the fact that Arsenal are a very strong position in the league, and now all of a sudden, hey, City have a chance to win the league. I don't necessarily buy into it. Let's say you, and obviously we'll talk about actually what went wrong in the game, but let's start off with that just to kind of get that one out of the way.
No, I think, like you said yesterday, people are saying the whole game was crap. It's not true. I think for the first 25 minutes, we were probably the better team. When Havertz has that chance, I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, whoa, we're gonna go for it. We're gonna win this game. And throughout the first half, I felt like that. And the second half, I'm not sure what happened because we scored most of our goals from the 45th to the 60th minute. And Mikel Arteta, seems to get into them at half time, and it seems to work. I'm not sure what he said, and this is why people, Dan calls me Arteta's lawyer. I'd always say when he got it wrong, I think he should have started Raya. You know, I think he should have went a little bit more attacking at some point in the game, and I think he should have brought Max Darman on. They're three things that I've criticised him for. You know, he's not immune to criticism. You know, there's no perfect manager. No one's perfect in this world. You know, you're not going to get every decision right. But ultimately, it was in a cup final, and it's cost us our first chance to win silverware. I think the midfield. I don't think Havertz was fully fit. You know, Rice didn't have a great game. I thought Bukayo Saka was poor. I thought Trossard, it was one of his worst performances in an Arsenal shirt. And I just think when you're at Wembley, the games are they're never great games at Wembley. They never are. The pitch, the
The
atmosphere.
pitch I always find is so big. I mean, is it
Yeah,
like
it
that in real
is.
life?
It is. I was just going to say that. It's just so big, the pitch. I don't know. Wembley, like I said, I prefer the Emirates. The Emirates, you're more in on it. You're more in on the pitch. It just feels more like a football stadium. It sounds weird because Wembley is obviously one of the older stadiums, but well, they obviously redone it. But yeah, I don't know. Cup final days, this at Wembley, neutral venue, you know, half fans each. It's just I don't know. The atmospheres. I don't know. I was way up in right near at the top as well. So just watching it wasn't the same as I watch it at the Emirates again. But I just feel like the occasion did get to some of the players, possibly. I do, I really do, and I think look, the first goal was crucial between two top sides because let's not make out City as some crap team now. You know,
Mm-mm.
they're not. They're still a top side. They've still got players that can win you games. My thing is that we didn't lay a glove on Manchester City. Bar that first chance, we didn't lay a glove on them. I thought the midfield got absolutely ran through. I don't think Kai Havertz was fully fit, but who else do you play there? You know, I think missing. Yeah, fair enough. They were missing defenders, right? And our attack is not our strongest point, right? But our midfield is probably one of our strongest points. And Odegaard, you can say what you want about him. He dictates the tempo. He could have got on the ball when we needed it. He could have been good for a cup final. Eze's just hit form. So we're missing our two creative midfielders. We've got Kai Havertz, who's just come back from an injury, with Zubamendi and Rice, who played a hell of a lot of football. So again, it could come down to Arteta, perhaps maybe not giving Zubamendi a rest when he should have, or Declan Rice. You know, I'm not against that, but overall, it just was not our day. And these things do happen in football. We've had 4 really bad days at the office this season out of 50 games, 8 draws, 4 losses, 38 wins, 3 more wins to equal our record of most wins in a season. You know, so like you said, you know, it's yesterday glass half full rather than half empty, especially when we've got the 3 bigger trophies to still go and win.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, this I haven't been able to give a proper analysis on this channel, at least when it comes to this game, because it's always a heated argument. But the way I kind of saw the game, and it's interesting. I was on here with Jake after the game, and I said for the first time, really, in a game this season when we've lost, it was so crystal clear to me everything that we did wrong in the game, which is why I actually take encouragement from that, because if it's crystal clear to me, it should be
Yeah,
crystal clear to Mikel Arteta.
facts, facts.
The first thing is for me, and again, I'm gonna criticize the manager. I've always said, by the way, Dan, I'm not an Arteta inner or an Arteta outer. I'm just an Arsenal fan, and when Arteta does things well, I will praise him for it. When he does things wrong, I'll criticize him for it. The biggest thing I'd criticize for him, and I was talking about this with Dan this morning. So you find out that Eze, well, Kepa one is given. We all know. I think everyone in the fan base agrees. He needed to just grow some balls and start his best keeper and not take the risk. I think we all agree with that. The thing though that it really hit a light bulb really hit for me, and this was when the sub actually happened, and it was too little, too late. If you were going to not have Eze, and Kai Havertz did, I feel, get exposed in this game as a 10 in terms of us trying to be able to play out and for him to be able to link the midfield from with the defense to the attacks somewhere in the middle, right? And look, Rice and Zubimendi also. This is probably, I gotta say, one of Rice's worst efforts in an
100%.
Arsenal shirt ever. We had no midfield control, and it was an element that we've had the entire year, and it lacked. But what I think is Arteta should have, because I saw when Calafiori came on for Nkapie, Calafiori does a lot in terms of having an extra man in midfield. He gives you more stability. All of a sudden, Arsenal had just a little bit of inkling more control when Calafiori was in than when not. I mean, it's hindsight to say, hey, you should have started Calafiori, considering that Hincapié was having such great form, and yeah, he got a yellow card, and that affects his ability to play. I don't actually think that I have much criticism for Hincapié. There wasn't much he can do, but he probably should have started Calafiori knowing what his weaknesses then were, and he didn't do it. But the thing is at halftime, everyone, Dan, I don't know, I'll ask you, were you thinking, hey, we have a weakness here because we have our left back is on a yellow. Why don't we bring Calafiori on at halftime?
Oh yeah, listen, 100%. I was thinking exactly. We was all saying it. We was all saying he's got to get him off and get Calafiori on. And Calafiori was probably our best player when he came on.
Yeah.
So yeah, look,
So
I still prefer him to Hincapié just, but again, I think it's horses for courses. I think Hincapié can play certain games. You know, I did actually say before the game, maybe for a final, he might be better, you know, to have that bit more of that aggression, you know, but looking back on it now, it's easy to say that maybe Calafiori would have been the better choice. It's a great problem to have, but you've got to get it right. And that's not down to us as fans. It's down to Mikel Arteta. And he obviously got that one wrong. So,
yeah.
look, listen, on this show, you see, when me and you can actually just talk without people just sitting there slandering Mikel Arteta, we can actually talk to it and get into our point and say what we feel.
As I said to Dan, though, it gets so confusing with the time differences on the show last night. What I don't feel Arteta actually came into this game looking to defend and play defensively. I think that's how the game panned out, because you can tell Arsenal actually were the aggressors in the first 20, 25 minutes.
I'm so glad you said that point, because sorry to cut you, Anton, but I agree with it so much. This theory that Arteta goes in the dressing room and goes, right, guys, go in there and be defensive. You know, all sit behind the ball. Arsenal have never sat behind the ball unless we're defending a lead with 5 minutes to go. It's just not true. Sometimes it's just how games pan out. It is on the players to go on the front foot sometimes. I remember against Sunderland even, Arteta said, I never told them to sit back. It naturally happens sometimes.
Yeah.
And like you said yesterday, you made a great point. We started the game off out of the blocks.
Yeah, it was the Hincapié yellow, and I feel like that is really the moment. If you really kind of take a step back and look at the game, that's the moment where Man City actually kind of gained the advantage. And Semenyo, by the way, was completely kept at arm's length. Haaland was kept at arm's length. Doku, all of their attackers in the first beginning of the game were all on the periphery of the game. Haaland didn't even have a touch in their attacking half at all. They targeted him a few times, but he couldn't get on the end of it. They didn't have a touch in their attacking half. But it was when the yellow happened, and all of a sudden Semenyo was able to kind of slowly attack him. And you notice Hincapié is now in an awkward position where he can't really put in a proper challenge, and Semenyo knows it. So then he ends up getting further and further beyond him as the half goes on. And by the end of the half, you're like, I want the whistle to go. They had the indirect free kick, right? And you're like, damn. That's why we're all like, there's your warning sign. Change your left back. Because if you don't change it, they're going to score, right? Then on the other side, all of a sudden it becomes contagious. And Ben White, who, by the way, isn't on a booking, starts to get absolutely roasted by Doku on the other side. And then they have you pinned in. And that is why all of a sudden, like, this is what pisses me off about the analysis of this. If all of a sudden, if they are pinning you in and their wingers are dominating your fullbacks, what are we supposed to do? We're supposed to not defend? We're supposed to not try to protect our goal? Of course you're supposed to protect your goal. The issue is that we didn't have, when we won the ball back, the players to hold the ball, win a foul, get you up the pitch. And that's where Havertz, for me, failed. Every time you try to get the ball to Havertz, Rodri literally took it off of him so easily and won the ball back for City, and they would recycle the possession. And it got too much until eventually they scored. But the thing that also then annoyed me was, even at 1-0, I felt that we had a chance to come back. I thought that we would concede first in the game anyway. It was the fact that he had Calafiori and he had Martinelli waiting by the fourth official to come on, and that's when Nico Riley scores the second. So he's realized the issue. He's not able to address it, and City, to their credit, they were able to do it. But I don't think we absolutely got smoked by them. They won certain tactical areas and they exploited them, and the moments really just fell in their favor. And it was bad timing for us in many ways. Like if we avoid that second and they're able to make the switch of Calafiori, I feel like the game might have been a little bit different as well. But that's sort of the way I feel like the game
agree. I'm
went.
just going to reply to this comment here. Statement of facts. Deluded Dan is going to glaze Arteta when we win the league. Make sure you give the players Berta Kroenke the praise too. Now, my reply to that is I definitely will. But let's be real, right? When things go wrong, no one says it's the players' fault. Sometimes, with Man United, you hear about the owners and stuff like that, and Spurs. But with Arsenal, since they've been spending the money, you don't hear that. It's always ends with Arteta, and you seem like the type of guy that would probably rip into Arteta if we drop a point, let alone not go on to win something. So I will be glazing Arteta 100%. I'll be
He'll
glazing all
deserve
the
it.
players, everyone involved with the club, rightly so, if we go on to win the league. My question to you is, what will you be doing? Will you be sitting there saying Arteta out? Or will you pull your hands up? Because on yesterday's show, me and Anton both said if we don't win it, then perhaps it's time for him to walk. And you got Jezza sitting there saying, no, he's got to win more than the Premier League. I couldn't believe that, a man of 67 years of age.
The thing that annoyed me about that, Dan, is that if we win the league, which I believe we will, it will be a culmination of all of the work that we have put in, Arteta has put in since the beginning of his reign. It was a process from a team that had zero backbone, didn't really fight for the shirt, anything. He cleared out the toxic environment at the football club in the playing group, and he turned everybody around. He got the plans and the players united. He started the North London Forever song. The Emirates is a much better place. Like it would be a celebration, the culmination of all of this hard work that, let's be honest, he's put in a massive part of the work. Edu, who was there with him, is gone. Vinay is gone. Berta has come in. He's shown the aggression in the transfer market to deliver him the team that he really needs. But it's a culmination of that. There's no way that instead we're going to turn around and go, hey, no, actually a Premier League title is not good enough.
Exactly.
That's the end goal. And once you reach that, now it's a failure?
Exactly.
Yeah.
He said Arteta will get his praise if he wins. Fair enough. In your previous comment, you said, I don't know you. That is true. I'm just saying most people that come with comments like that, and obviously you've come and said, I'm glazing and rare. You glazed the guy before he's not won anything. Calm down. Now, listen, for one, I am calm. It's 10:30 in the morning. I'm very calm. But listen, if Arteta goes on to win something, listen, firstly, I'll be happy that Arsenal won the Premier League. I've been waiting my whole life for it, right? And you're saying that you'll give him his praise and he's earned the right to stay, and that we're praising him before he's won. But can you not praise someone throughout the season when they're doing well? Like I said, I've watched 50 Arsenal games this season. I've seen us win 38 of them, draw 8 and only lose 4. We're 9 points clear in the Premier League. We're in a quarterfinal of a Champions League. We're in a quarterfinal of a FA Cup. Because we haven't won it yet, I can't praise the job he's done so far. It doesn't make sense.
See, that's where Dan's point is correct.
That's like me coming to work for you or you coming to work for me. We're doing really well, and just not saying, "Oh yeah, you're doing well." Just not saying nothing until like I'll make your company £1 million. Do you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. Go on, Anton.
So Dan asked the question like, "Hey, this was really important going in. Why'd you guys have a different energy now?" And I don't subscribe to the, hey, we had bigger fish to fry. The thing is, that reason why I actually thought it was so important is to avoid the type of conversations that we've been having in the last couple of weeks. To have won that trophy, we've crossed that threshold of having a trophy. So these dumb conversations don't happen anymore. That's kind of part of it. That's kind of the part of the reason why I'm a bit annoyed with having lost it, because I knew exactly what the fallout would be like. You know what I mean? Like, the truth is, we can go for it, and that's a great segue to our next topic, which is, we kind of have to put this in the rearview mirror and keep going, because all the biggest trophies are out there. The greatest accomplishment to date that has been done by both Manchester United and Manchester City is a possibility still for Arsenal.
Exactly.
So
Let me read this one out here because I really agree with this DJ because I go to the Emirates every week and listen, I could not agree more. Great comment. He says we must be patient in the stadium because how the fans react rubs off on the players. Be positive in the stadium and cheer the team as always. I fully believe we'll win the Premier League. That is an absolute fact
mm,
because I get to the Emirates and let me tell you in 22-23 when it was like a free hit, no one expected us to challenge for the title. That place was rocking, buzzing. We went 1-0 down, the whole stadium just started cheering and getting, galvanizing the players. Now we go 1-0 down, the whole place is like, oh my God, it's happening again. And I get it. It's a psychological thing, but we do need to, as a fan base, rather than cussing out these players after they lose a game or drop points, we're still top. And listen, if we completely crumble, then they deserve it. But so far, we're nowhere near that position. So I really agree with your comment. Let's just go through some comments before we move on, Anton. Statement of facts. Thanks for coming and tuning in, by the way.
yeah.
Statement of facts. You can praise, but you don't have to overpraise. He's had over 20 opportunities to win the trophy, so you should understand why people were pessimistic. Listen, I do understand. I do understand that. I'm just saying, me and Anton see it as a bigger picture. If we won an FA Cup or a Carabao Cup or even a Europa League, it could have potentially papered over cracks. You know, I think we're building for domination. We're building to win a Premier League, a Champions League, something we've never done. We're building to win a Premier League and another Premier League back to back, something we've never done. But listen, I get it. Obviously, of course, we haven't won a trophy in 6 years. A club the size of Arsenal, we should be winning trophies. I totally understand that,
Yeah. Look,
And as I've said, Arteta's not immune from criticism to me. I don't know where people get this from. I have criticized him before. What I won't have is when people are just non-stop criticizing him. Like someone said in the stream earlier, every question is, what if you don't win it? What if you don't win it? And, it's too much, So, yeah, man.
yeah. And look, I gotta say, you bring up some great points. Maybe we've needed to have not won it yet. Maybe the squad isn't as strong as it is now. If we had won it already, maybe we were satisfied before. I'm a believer in God, and I do believe that God has a plan for everything. He's got a rhyme and a reason, and maybe there's a reason why we haven't won until now. Maybe He's put us in position now where we're going to see the fruits of that labor. Who knows? But
Just quickly, before we move on, I want to just play this clip quickly because it kind of goes into what we're talking about, right? Very quickly, Anton, yeah? Because I know we're going to move on.
yeah,
Just give me a moment, right? Let's get rid of all of these ones. Oh, you've got a load there already.
oh yeah.
Am I
There's
able to do it still?
I think you should be able to
I'm not. I don't think I can.
send me the link and I'll put it up.
Yeah, I don't think I can. I'll send you the link. Yeah, go on. We'll move on for now, and we'll come back to it.
We'll
Yeah.
move on to it. Yeah. Funny thing is people criticize positive fans that they are unable to criticize him and are basically the same and accuse others for just the other side. They are unable to praise him. Yeah. See, that's exactly true. That's exactly true, JT. Bang on 100%. And I've seen you make comments from both sides of the fence. I've seen you be negative when we lose and be positive when we win, and I think that's normal. I think that's balanced, to be honest. But yeah, these opportunities are still out there for Arsenal to achieve what is the greatest so far achievement that most clubs have ever achieved in club football, and that is the treble. And I made a joke with Dan last night. If we lost to Southampton, the next podcast will be like, can Arsenal still win the double?
Yeah,
But
you're right.
but yeah. So coming up right now, like the next three games for me, and I do want to kind of break down all three competitions and kind of again where we are, because we're in the last, hopefully, if this were to happen, the last 15 games of the season. So we got Southampton coming up on the weekend. That's the FA Cup. We win that, as you said. We're right back at Wembley for a semi-final. And then right after that, about 4 days later, we're going to go to Lisbon to play Sporting Lisbon in the Champions League. We win that. I actually do. The last time we spoke as well, we thought we were going to be getting Bodo Glimt, and Sporting were able to turn that around. And we both said that was the tie that we would prefer to have. So I actually do think, unlike if we would have gone to Bodo, this is a game that we actually should go ahead and win. The last time we went to Sporting, we won 5-0, and that was with Victor
5-1.
Gyökeres playing for 5-1, and that's
Mm.
with Victor Gyökeres playing for them. And we'll get into that later, but I'm feeling good about that tie. And of course, Premier League, we're 9 points clear. Dan, let's just answer the simple question before we kind of delve a little bit deeper into each of the competitions and where we're at. Can we still win the treble? Like, how do we respond to losing that game now? It's about moving on. You know, can we gain lessons from that game and go ahead and kick on and win the other three?
Listen, for sure we can. And this is the thing now. Everyone's going to say, Jez was trying to say, you said we're going to win the quad. You said we're going to win the quad. No. I said we can win the quad, which was true up until that cup final. When you're still in, listen, not many teams can say we can win the quad. How many teams now can still say they can win the treble? Manchester City, no. Well, yes, they could win the domestic treble, right? So Manchester City could win an FA Cup, a Carabao Cup in the league.
They can't win the Champions League, yeah.
They can't win the Champions League. Arsenal could win the treble. Do I think we'll win the treble? Probably not. No. If I'm truth, hand on heart, I know you think we probably will. I just think, that like I said, the Carabao Cup final has made me believe less that we could win a Champions League or a FA Cup final, because we've been to a final and I've watched it and it wasn't very good. But I do think we'll win the Premier League. And listen, we could win the FA Cup with that. Who knows? We might win the Champions League with that. But to win all three of them, I think is probably a step too far. And that is because of the Carabao Cup's playing a massive part. And that with the quad as well, you got to remember, I'm in YouTube, I'm having a bit of fun as well with
as am I.
with these negative fans and stuff, But I think this is our safe place here, me and you, Anton, on our show. We're gonna be as real as we can. I don't need to, because I know people are saying things to rile me up. People in the comments and other content creators that are on my show saying stuff. If you're gonna say Arteta's got to get sacked, even if he wins a treble, then I'm going to say we're going to win the quad. Yeah, listen, it's all part and parcel. But look, like I've said, I've maintained from the start of the season, before a ball was kicked, we'll win the Premier League. I still firmly believe that. If we win it, can we win the treble? Yes, of course we can. Will we? I don't think we will.
Yeah. Look, I got to give big up Jake, because Jake comes onto my channel all the time, and he gives me so much perspective. Like, he looks at things in a different way from myself, and which is really good. And when I was going in there and I was really upset, and I was saying kind of like what you were saying, which is like, damn, I kind of feel like this kind of dark feeling that like the way that we handled the occasion of a final, that might be our biggest stumbling block. But Jake brought something up to me that I thought was interesting.
Big up NZ Guna, by the way. Long time for
big up NZ Guna. My neighbor to the east of Australia here. So big up NZ Guna.
I think we can win all three, but need to know how to be the team that can beat any team on any day, almost like Real, Barca, Bayern in their worst seasons. Yeah, facts. Look, I do think, though, in the Champions League, that will be a lot more. Man City know us very well. Pep knows Arteta, all of that. I do think it will be a bit different. And listen, we might be more suited to win a Champions League than the FA Cup going up against City again, or a Liverpool who we haven't beat this season. It's just trail of thought.
But again, the experience of beating Real Madrid last year is going to be valuable, I think. If you think that losing a cup final like this is going to have a negative effect, being able to go back and pick out when we beat Real Madrid and Declan Rice's free kicks and those moments and going to the Bernabeu and winning, that also, you should get confidence from that as well. But Jake, one thing Jake said that was really, really key for me is this is the first time that Arsenal. I'm
going to do that, by the way, JT. Sorry, Anton. I am going to do that. Don't worry. It's coming.
Oh, of course you are. Of course you are. This is the first time we've been at Wembley with Arteta since we won the FA Cup in 2020. But for this squad of players, Saka didn't even really play on that day. This is the first time that they've been into a final of any sort. And being in a final, here you go. Here's my boy Jake in here. And he can correct me on the point he was making. But being in a final is a different skill on its own. As you mentioned, you got the half and half stadium, the pitch is different. It's a new experience that Arsenal players are going to have to learn from. And Arteta had the players sit out there watch as City lifted the trophy so they can remember and use it as motivation to be like, hey, this feeling what we have, I don't want to feel this ever again. And they had to kind of learn, as we have in many different other occasions. Champions League, we haven't gone out of the last 16, then we never got out of the quarterfinals, then we finally got to a semi. Hopefully this year we get to a final. We're constantly progressing. This is the first time we've been in a final, and we had to learn how to manage that occasion. It could be a good thing. It could be that because we lost this game and because we have lessons to learn from this game, that we can apply those lessons when we play in the final of the FA Cup or of the Champions League. We'll be more prepared and more ready for those moments. And the other thing about Pep and losing to Pep as well is we have a big game against them coming up too. We now have an idea of kind of the type of tactics he might come at us with, and we can have hopefully but people, negative fans, always never really point out is the players go back, they review the tape, they look at everything. Hey, where did we go wrong here? And they get better. They look at the other team's tactics. How do we counter that? That's what the best managers do. And that's what we're going to have the opportunity to do, especially even when we go to the Etihad. Raya is going to be in there. I think that can make a massive difference in the game. If we have a 10 of any form, we have a 10 of any form, even if Odegaard is in there.
We're going to win the treble then. You think we're going to win it?
Look, we're not far. We weren't far from winning the quad either. Again, as I was saying, if we it's not like we're at the start of the season. We got 15 games to go, right? In my opinion, we really got one. That's where this comes from.
Yeah,
we already have won before we even play in that competition, which we already won. In my opinion, we have a chance to, let's say, we get 2 wins this next week.
Enzo Kuna, facts. That is facts right there.
Yeah.
But
if we beat Southampton, we go to Wembley, we're semi-finals, we're 2 wins away from an FA Cup, right? Then if we beat Sporting, we don't even need to beat them at home when they come back to us, technically. And then that would mean that we would be 2 or 3 wins away from winning the Champions League. So it's not ridiculous. You have to manage each occasion one at a time, keep advancing, keep progressing, shuffle the pack a little bit and manage the competition. But I actually don't think that the schedule is that crammed that we can't. We've had a more crammed schedule in December and January than we do now. And it'll be a month since we play a Premier League game when we play Bournemouth. So, and all the players have rested, and we'll get into that in a second. But they've all rested. They've all missed out the game, whether it's technical or not. That should be something that that could help us push for all these trophies at the end. I look. Would I be surprised? Obviously, if we don't win, of course not. That was a real reality check the other day when we lost the week when we lost the cup final, right? But so it shows you, there's stumbling blocks, and for the first time, like even that day, I was like, I can't envision a way that we lose this. It just feels like it doesn't fit with how the season has been going. But it happened.
The sun was out. Once the sun was out, I said, "That's it, man."
Really?
The sun was out. I was like, "We're winning." We don't get much sun.
I thought you meant sun was out. We were losing, but yeah.
No, I thought the sun was out. We're definitely going to win this game, man. I really did feel like that, man. But yeah, look, we didn't. And listen, can we still win the treble? Of course we can. But one thing, just quickly, while we end on this now. What I think will happen now is because we was in all 4 and going so far. Almost Arteta's. How do I say it? His progression. He's the good stuff he would have done. Fans, the negative fans will hit him with it, because if we only, can you believe what people are actually saying? Only win the Premier League. Now, had we gone out of the FA Cup in, say, the 5th round to a Man City or away or a Liverpool or whoever, and we went out of the Carabao Cup in the semi-finals to Chelsea, all right, we're still in the Champions League, and let's say we go out in the semis, but we win, and the league's neck and neck, and we win it on the last day. Everyone's going to be going like, listen, we're all going to go crazy if we win the league anyway, right? But even the negative fans, and it'll be seen a little bit different. Whereas now what these fans are going to say is, oh, but he had a chance to win 4 and he only won 1. Everyone has a chance to win 4 at the start if you're in Europe. Yeah, you know what I mean? And there's 2 massive ones, the Champions League or the Premier League. You win one of them, it's been one of the greatest seasons in Arsenal's history, because Arsenal's been going since 1886, is it right? Something like that, yeah. So you think about how many years Arsenal's been going, right? And we've won like 40 trophies, 47 trophies, something like that. 20 of them have probably been community shields. So you call it like 25 big trophies. Let's just do it, say it as it is, right? 13 Premier Leagues, 14 FA Cups, that's 27, 2 League Cups, 29, 2 European Cups, 31 trophies that you would say was a good season, right?
Mm.
So 31 out of 150 years or whatever it might be, right? So, you look at it, if we win the Premier League this season, we've only won 13 Premier Leagues, right? I say only, it's the third most, right? But there's teams in Europe and that have won so many. And you look at Man United and Liverpool. Liverpool, I think, are on 21. United are on 20. So if we win the Premier League, it will be unbelievable achievement. It's been 22 years to win a Premier League title. You'll never see London. You'll never see anything like it. It's not happened in the modern era. 2004. Is it the modern era? It is, but it isn't, if you know what I mean. So, I probably had dial-up internet then, like it's things were very different in the world. It's a long time. To win the Premier League, it'd be absolutely humongous. At the start of every season, when we were in Europe, before Arteta got us back there, people used to say, would you rather a Champions League or a Premier League? And I always used to say Champions League only because we've not won it. Had we won it, I'd always think the Premier League. My dad's always said Premier League, no matter what, even though we've not won a Champions League. Now, this season, when I was asked, I started the season, right, not moving no goalposts because we're in a great position to win the Champions League as well. Listen, there's fine margins, I don't know. If you put a gun to my head, I might change my mind, right? But I've always said the Premier League because we've come so close. I feel like, and they asked Saka last season or the year before which one he wanted, and he said the Premier League. And that was quite telling because these players have been on a journey in the Premier League. Like you said with the Champions League, they've only just got into it. They got to a quarters of semis. They're going to be in Europe for the next few years. They're going to grow together. Champions League is very hard to just be in it 2 or 3 years and then go and win it. I would love to know if there's any examples of that in recent times of teams just getting back into the Champions League for 2 years, 3 years, and then winning it. I don't think it happens a lot. I think you have to lose a final. You have to lose a semi-final. Same in the Premier League. You have to finish second. No, what team just comes out of nowhere and wins it? People say Chelsea when they finished 10th. Yeah, but the year before that, they were champions. They had winners in that team. So the point I'm making is I said the Premier League because we've come so close. I need that Premier League more than anything. And if we win the Premier League, it'll be one of the greatest seasons in our history.
Yeah.
Only 98 will top it, obviously, because we won a double. 2004 will top it because we went unbeaten, and 2002 will top it because we won a double.
Well, it depends how many we win.
And 1971. Right? So that'll be 4 seasons. That will be better than it, and that will be it.
That's just if we win it though. Like there's a potential that this could be the greatest or up there top 5, depending on how many that we win.
Champions League, it's the greatest season ever in the club's history.
So that's even without a treble. That's even just with 2. But just quickly before we move on.
Sorry, I know the Premier League started in 1992, mate. Yeah.
So did I.
But and I started in 91. But there was a thing. There was football before 1992. But big up Yusuf, bro. Thank you for your comment, man.
Yeah. So before we move on, I want to kind of go illustrate the lay of the land because there's a lot of this conversation about maybe Arsenal can bottle it now, which I hate. We're doing the same shit again that we did before we played Brentford. It's actually funny because the same really point spread. The idea is, and we said this the last time, when City and Bernardo Silva said, "Hey, if we don't beat Liverpool, go 9 points clear, it's over for us," right? We're advanced. We're about a month and a half ahead of that now, and it's 9 points now for real. And again, on that day, it's the same swing. They beat Liverpool, it goes down to 6, all that, right? And people were starting after they beat Fulham. Oh, Arsenal are bottling it. How? We lose a cup final, which is that's just why I made it clear that it's got nothing to do with the league. This is a separate competition altogether. Oh, Arsenal are bottling it. I want to point something out to you. I want to take a look at the schedules of both the 2 teams quickly in the point spread, because we did mention the last time, how quickly I think that we can go ahead and win it. If they lose to Chelsea this weekend and we beat Bournemouth, we go beat them at the Etihad, and then we win after that, we'll be champions. But I want to take a look at their schedule quite quick. I was going to make a graphic, didn't have time to do it, but I will just kind of do it now. So, just in terms of just reading out who they've got left, because obviously we know who we got left, but there's some big games in there. First off, the Crystal Palace one. Let's not forget, by the way, this team has just dropped points to Forest and West Ham, two teams that are fighting relegation. So the idea that this team, by the way, they're going to need to win. Let's hope they're going to need to win something, because at the moment, they might have something for anybody, because they're after that last defeat. Pride is a big thing, but who says that they're going to beat Crystal Palace? Is guaranteed. I don't know. They have to go to the Bridge, as we just mentioned. They've got us, obviously the toughest fixture you could have.
They've got 5 away games, 3 home games, and one of the home games is us.
They go to Everton, who, speaking of Chelsea, just slapped Chelsea.
4 home games and 3 away. So
yeah, they have Everton at Hill Dickinson, where we had a tough time with them. They just slapped Chelsea themselves.
Also, the last game of the season is Aston Villa.
Yeah, Aston Villa. They have to play Brentford, who's still fighting for Europe. Right? They have to go away to Bournemouth.
Beat them at City not long ago as well.
Yeah, they have to go away to Bournemouth as well. And not to mention, by the way, the further this Palace thing gets pushed down the line, the more fixture congestion they're going to get at the end. The other twist that might happen, as you mentioned, I think you mentioned this before, if we win on Sunday, the Newcastle game gets pushed down the line. Yeah, if then we were to win again, I believe it's the Burnley game then gets pushed down the line. And so we will also have a bunch of game in hand at the end of the season as well. So that's kind of the lay of the land. But I just feel like we're in such a strong position that I cannot see with those fixtures, Man City going and picking up 24 points. Like if I was going to make an illustration of how many points that Man City need to win the league, it's 84. It's 85 points that they'll probably need, because that's their max. Our max right now is 91. So that kind of gives you an illustration. That's why it sounds nuts when we say, hey, it's done, but that's just...
what's funny when you say that, 91 points, right? When people say to me, well, what makes you think Arsenal can win the league? Last season included, when people ask me this, and I always go back to the 23-24 season, not the 22-23 season. As I brought up yesterday, for me, it wasn't a bottle. I showed the graphic yesterday. After 31 games, we was on 71 points. We were 1 point ahead of City. 1 point ahead with 7 games to go, and you end up we lost 1 game to Aston Villa. That's a bottle, winning 17 of your last 19 games. I'm sorry, that's not a bottle. 2022-23, yeah, it was youngest team in the league.
I feel like people are projecting some of our older teams. The team in 2012, when Aaron Ramsey had his best season and we were top of the league in February, and we lost 4-0 to Liverpool, 5-0 to Chelsea, like that felt like that was an Arsenal team that was collapsing and was due to collapse, right? But I feel like people treat and speak about this Arsenal squad like it's that squad.
Exactly.
And it does my head in, because again, only 8% of the season this year have we lost games. So hey, this game on Sunday, the cup final, gives me reason for why I think we'll fail. But I'm like, that's 8% of the season. What about the others? And I guess, yes, he had 16%, which is a draw, as I said, but still, at the moment, draws gets you closer to winning the league as well. Like, we draw at Man City.
Listen,
at the moment, we need 16 points.
If we draw with Bournemouth and they lose, it would have been a great weekend.
Yeah.
I'll take that now rather than us both winning.
Forget about them. That's what I'm trying to say. Forget about them. It's about us and the 16 points. 16 points requires 5 wins and a draw. So if we get a draw, that's actually required as part of the mathematics that get us to winning the league. So,
you know what, Anton? Like you said, in 23-24, we got 89 points. And I've always said, if we get 89 points again, we'll win the Premier League. Because we were up against City team that won the treble and got 91 points. If we get 89 points, we'll win the league. And I think we'll end up with 89 points this year. There or thereabouts. Let's quickly do it. Let's sim through both of our remaining fixtures. City's 8 and Arsenal's 7.
Let's do it. All right. Want to start with us or start with them? Because I think let's start with them, because that we kind of know what we need to do.
We'll start with
them. Let's start with the Chelsea game this weekend. What do you have? let's just quickly win. It doesn't need to be a score line. Just win, loss, draw.
I think they'll win that game.
All right. Okay. A win. So that keeps their max at 85. Okay. A game against us.
I think that will be a draw.
Same. All right. So that brings their max up to 83. Burnley away. I think we're both going to say that'll be a win for them.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw Palace now in there as well now. Palace at home for them. What?
Isn't it away, Palace?
No, it's at City. It's at
they'll win that.
All right, cool. So they've dropped their 83 is still the max. Everton away. I don't think they're winning that game.
I don't think they're winning that game either. I'm going to actually put that as, do you know what? I'll put it as a draw, but I think they could lose it.
Okay, so that brings them to 81. Brentford at home.
Let's say they'll win it.
All right, cool. Bournemouth away.
I'll say they'll win that as well.
All right. And then Villa at home.
I'll go for a win.
All right. So that means that City will end the season on 81 points. Right now, Arsenal are on 70. So we need 4 to win. 4 out of our last 7 to win. So let's keep that in mind here. So Arsenal start off with the Bournemouth game. All right. So obviously Bournemouth at home.
I think we'll win that.
All right, cool. So that means now we're at 73 points. Okay, what's the next one? Oh, City.
Draw. We've already said it. Draw.
Okay, 74 points. Okay, let's just forget about the Southampton thing. Newcastle at home.
I think we beat them.
All right. Well, that takes you to 77. We just need 4 more or 5 more points to win the league. Fulham at home.
We win that.
80. Okay. And then we would have West Ham away.
I think we win that.
We won the league. 83. Burnley at home.
We win that.
86. And the last one is Crystal Palace at Selhurst.
I think we win that as well.
89.
Listen, let's just put the Newcastle game as a draw because we may draw one of them.
87.
87
that
points.
That's still 6 win the league by 6 clear points.
Yeah, exactly. We do put numbers past West Ham. Big up Jason, man. We always do well there. Oh, he sent a link. JT sent a link, I think. Where is the link?
To the link he sent you. Is it in the chat?
I don't know where he sent it. It's not in the chat. Where have you sent it, JT? Oh, what am I doing here?
I'm looking for. Did he send it to me in my one?
Both of our chats, he reckons. I can't see it.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe sometimes when you send links like that, YouTube actually deletes them because it's like it finds it a little bit as dodgy. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's blocked.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to that next one. So again, we're it's pretty clear. I'm pretty confident that we'll win the league. Like the combinations that would have to occur for us to not just going through those fixtures, it would be. I can't even envision it. Like we've been bad, but at least we're getting over the line. We're picking up points. We would have to be so catastrophically bad, awful against teams that we should be beating and have beaten already this season.
Exactly.
But yeah, let's move on. And that's
I want to pick up everyone as well. Everyone obviously watching on Fire Them Cannons. Everyone watching on Gooners Therapy. Because right now, guys, I've got to say, it's love to all of you. It's just gone down to 17. There was 19, but 18 likes on my side. That means every single one of you that have been in here have smashed the like button. It means a hell of a lot, honestly, guys. So thank you very much. I just want to big you all up for that, man. And obviously big up everyone over there watching on Fire Them Cannons as well, man.
Yeah. So AFTV put out this one, and this is the next topic. This is if we can remove just the comment from the stage quickly so we can see the screen. There we go. So yeah, So this is a graphic of the 11 players that have been missing for Arsenal. Big up AFTV. Dan's on AFTV all the time. They do good work. I love the social media stuff that they do recently.
Really
So
good, really good.
this is a bit of a phenomenon, and I think it's been going around not just with us, with rival fans. The discussion about all the Arsenal players that have gone home from international duty. So you can see on this list Trossard, Madueke, Eze, Zubimendi, Odegaard, Saka, Nkapia, Rice, Saliba, Timber. It's funny they got Gabriel in goal because obviously none of the keepers have gone away. But that's the question here. Is this a cause for concern? So a lot of people are asking the question: is it real? Is it fake? And what me and Dan are going to do here on this show, we're going to make it as clear as possible. And with the help of our good friend, actually friend of my show, he's been in my show a few times already, the Hand of Arsenal, subscriber to Fire Them Cannons. That's a little bit of flex there. He gave a breakdown kind of on all the players and who were in. So we're going to play a game called Real or Fake. We're going to go through the injuries individually, and Dan and I are going to come up to the conclusion of if they are real injuries, if they're fake injuries. Afterwards, we'll show you what Hand of Arsenal has said, and we'll kind of get an idea of what is the final prognosis. So we'll start here with Martin Odegaard, who obviously we haven't seen him for freaking months. He got injured, I believe, originally in the Brentford game. He was been gone for a while, came back for Tottenham to assist Gyökeres, and we haven't seen him again since. There were talk about him being available for the cup final and a few other games, and he's never really quite made the squad. But he obviously didn't go to Norway either. Dan, do you think that the Martin Odegaard, is that a legitimate injury? I mean, there's a lot of people who've conspiracy theory this one. A big up Laurie Lyle, who's been doing it for months, and I kind of agree with him a little bit. Is it a real injury or a fake injury, Martin Odegaard?
With Martin Odegaard, I think it's obviously real because he's been injured, right? Whether he's still injured and couldn't play for Norway is a whole nother discussion, right? They've already made the World Cup. You know, they're just pointless friendly games. They probably want him to be fit for the World Cup, so they probably don't want to risk him either. So I think it's a dodgy one because he has been injured. He's not played for Arsenal, as you said, for like a few months now. But do I think he'll probably be in the squad for Southampton? I probably do.
Well, the Hand of the Hand of Arsenal, and I'm going to bring this up here. Yeah. Basically, what he said is that Martin Odegaard is pushing to be back for Southampton, and Arteta will make the final call this week. It just sounds a lot like a lot of the stuff we've been hearing about Odegaard heading into the cup final type of stuff. It's kind of a continuation, like Arteta will make a decision. But I do think at the end of the day, it's been a real injury. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been out that long. But yeah, we'll move on. The next one, Urian Timber. And I think this one's an easy one. Like he left the Everton game. You were there. You saw him leave the Everton game. He didn't play for Bayer Leverkusen game. He missed the cup final. You reckon this is a slam dunk? We know this is.
I think he's injured, but I think he'll be back for Sporting Lisbon.
Yeah. So, according to the Hand, he says that the Timber is aiming to be back for Southampton. So, the Arteta press conference and body language experts needed is what he says.
Yeah.
All right. Next up. Okay, I think this one is an easy one for me. Declan Rice.
He just needs a rest. He's fine, but I wouldn't be surprised if he gets rested against Southampton. But I think he'll probably play, to be honest, because I think he's one player that Arteta will not play without.
Yeah, so this is an interesting bit of insight here, and I thought it was fake, but the Hand of Arsenal says that on Declan Rice, his understanding is that he had been carrying a knock pre-City. He was sent home on the advice of the England medical staff, and would not be shocked if he's rested for this weekend. So it is somewhat.
It will 100% be in that squad against Southampton. That's for sure. I think. Listen,
you think he will? Because the Hand says that there's a chance he'll be rested. Still,
listen. He might not start the game. He'll be in the squad. I'm
All right.
100% sure of that.
Moving on to his mate who showed up to England camp only to leave a few days later. Saka,
He's
real or
fine.
fake?
He's fine. He's
So
probably he's probably tired in the red zone, whatever you want to call it. But again, whether he starts or not is another thing. I think he probably does start against Southampton. I
yeah,
would like him to be given a break to just fresh for Bournemouth.
I think he's going to play against Southampton. I
I
mean,
think
I
he
just
will as well.
I feel like he will. I mean, especially with Noni. We'll get to
Exactly.
Noni
With
in
Noni
a
being
bit as
out,
well. The Hand of Arsenal says that it's been red zone fatigue. This rest has come at the perfect time. He was sent home on the advice of England medical staff, waiting to see how he trains this week before Arteta makes a call for this weekend. I think he'd play. And again, it comes back to the kind of discussion we had last night with Jez about all like, how could it be fake, or how like these medical staffs of England and all type of stuff. And you're right. The England staff have picked up something that we didn't. And they looked at him and they say, hey, you're not fit enough to play. And he was in the red zone, and that's why he was sent home. All right. Noni Madueke. Obviously, if anybody saw the game against Uruguay the other day, I mean, Uruguay came in; they were heavy on the challenges at the game. I saw Foden. I think he's also pulled out of the England team as
yeah.
well. Yeah. So heavy challenge left Madueke on the ground. He's seen leaving with on what was it on with a knee brace or a leg brace, the stadium. Is it a real fake injury? I think it's one's pretty clear, but it's interesting the news has come out about him in the last 24 hours though.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, it's clear he's obviously had an injury. However, it's nowhere near as bad.
Yeah.
I know he
So
was in a
yeah,
foot brace or whatever, but
yeah. So what? And this, by the way, this came straight from the horse's mouth from Thomas Tuchel, saying that they feared the worst, but thankfully the injury is described as a minor after the assessment. And the Hand of Arsenal saying that he's aiming to be back for a Sporting or Bournemouth. So that is that's real good news for Arsenal, because I was worried that we were really going to have to kind of churn Saka out for the rest of the season. It's good to know that Nani is still there. That my boy Jake saying pretty sure Foden is down for a while. I don't know if Foden being out from City impacts them much. He's
he's
really
not
played
been
a
playing a
very
lot
big
of
part
football,
this
has he?
season.
But he's still a big
Yeah.
player.
All right, the next one, Martin Zubimendi. That was the one that dropped a couple days ago. Fabrizio was saying that he's had knee discomfort. That he's left the
Yeah,
Spain
it's what
camp.
he's done. He's gone there and told them, listen, I've got a little feeling in my knee. And they've said, all right, mate. And that's it. He's back. He's fine.
So fake,
Fake.
fake. And Hand of Arsenal says that the minor knee discomfort was assessed by the Spain medics, and he was sent home for recovery. Another one, I won't be shocked if he is rested again. So that's interesting. The thing is though, I don't see a world where neither of them play against Southampton. So one of them is going to have to play. And if I was going to make a guess, I would say Rice is the one that plays.
Yeah. Agreed.
That's what I would say. All right, Incapie. So I actually watched their Ecuador game because it's on really early in the morning for me. I was able to watch that, and yeah, he did come off. He sort of like was running behind the defender, and he kind of pulled up, and those always concern me. Like when it's a non-contact injury, he ended up limping off the pitch. He was substituted right away. Um,
Yeah, look, I mean, I think with Hincapié, I think he won't play against Southampton. And listen, he might not play against Sporting or Bournemouth, but we've got Calafiori there. So again, whether it's real or fake, not too concerned because I don't think it'll be a long injury.
yeah.
So yeah,
So
I
what the
would say
Hand of
that will
Arsenal is saying is that it's
go on.
not a serious injury. It's a minor knock,
Yeah,
and that the player is taking precautions to rest and recover on the medical staff, the advice of the Ecuador medical staff. The thing is, I didn't feel like I saw a knock. Maybe there was a knock earlier, which caused him to pull up, because I felt like it was completely non-contact. So it surprises me that's the conclusion. We need to copy. I think
sorry.
yeah, I think he has proved himself. Madueke, I'm not worried about. Yeah, look, thankfully,
I'd
I
go the
thought
other
some of
way.
these were
I'd go the
bad.
other way, man. I'd go the other way. I want I'd be less worried about Nkapie. Look, I know Calafiori gets injured, but listen, 7 to go in the Premier League, right? Could be 10 to 12 games all in all, or whatever, 15 if we were to win it all. If Calafiori can stay fit, listen, I think he's more than capable. For me, I'd just about start him over Nkapie anyway. Madueke, I think we need him to come on in games. Saka's not been in the best form. I think he's probably the more important one for me, I would say.
Yeah.
Personally.
And last but not least, actually, there's a last one, but I was reading it. I was like, Max Damon was sent home, and then actually read the actual fine print and what he's actually said. It's actually pretty funny. He just wrote, for Max Damon, I'm told he was sent home from his PE lesson by Steve, the supply teacher. The overlap could possibly do a whole segment on it. Who knows? I was like, come on, dude, don't do me like that. But the other one is Eze. So
definitely injured.
I think it's definitely injured, and it's by a 4 to 6 week injury. But what is being said now by a head of Arsenal is that the player is still in rehab for a lower leg injury, and there's some optimism he could return earlier than the original timeline, but one to monitor once he trains on grass again. So I think what I get from that is that it was 4 to 6 weeks. It's more likely to be around the 4 week mark rather than.
Listen, hopefully he's on the bench for the Man City game, man, and that'll be something, man.
Yeah, well,
I think. Listen, as much as us fans, even us positive fans, are a bit sick of Odegaard, I do think he's got a massive role to play now.
We need him. We need him.
Eze being at Odegaard, getting on the ball in certain games, and I just feel like in the Champions League, it's going to suit him. I feel like that away game against Leverkusen, we could have really done with a Martin Odegaard. Listen, Odegaard, I keep saying it. These players can still become. Listen, they're going to become legends if they win the Premier League. But some people are talking about Odegaard. Should he lift the trophy? Listen, Odegaard, now is your time to come in this team, put your foot on this team, right? And really get involved, man. Honestly, I really think that you need to. I really think Odegaard could score the winner against Bournemouth, make a great assist in a game against Man City, or do something. Odegaard gets the winner against Manchester City away. He is going to be.
I believe on the analysis of the game, if Odegaard is starting in the 10 against City in the cup final, I believe we win it. Just from purely the tactics and the way that the game went. If we had an out ball, we had an Odegaard who could pick up the ball, then get fouled by Rodri, have a bit more about him, and at least move us up the pitch and take the pressure, relieve the pressure. I think that would have been a whole different game. Like it's at this point, it's like the subtle details. We don't even need to have the best Odegaard. I just need a version of Odegaard that can.
Listen, Odegaard, we all know he can make that. He can make that pass, right? He can make that pass. He done one, I think, for Zubimendi's goal against Aston Villa. He's got it in him, right? So with Eze not there, Odegaard is your time. Odegaard and Saka.
My boy Jake is saying here.
They can still have great moments. Big up. I think it was Big Rook N4. Listen, N4, man. Literally where I grew up, man. So big yourself up, man. Thanks for coming to the channel. Make sure you smash the likes. Make sure you're subscribing. He says, I don't think the injuries are fake. No player fakes injuries. Some people, like rivals, need to use common sense. Listen, they do fake injuries, though. I'm sorry, man. It's been a thing that's been going on for years. They do say they've got a bit of discomfort. Like I said on yesterday's show, last night's show, Harry Kane is probably the only one, I think, who's never really pulled out of an England squad due to a fake injury. Look, maybe fake's not the right word, but I think they over-exaggerate what might be a bit of tiredness. But listen, big up AFC always, man. Always showing us love from our first ever stream, man. But yeah, I saw that with Ian Wright posted it earlier on his Instagram, 25th anniversary of Rocky David Rocastle. So rest in peace to him. Crazy to think that's 25 years.
Yeah, it's
JT says, shout out Steve, AFC always. Cup chasers. Odegaard will be so huge for the remainder of the season. There's a reason he's captain. Listen, I think he can have a massive say. A massive say. I'm a huge critic of Odegaard, but in the games we struggle with control, like City game, he's a game changer. 100% agreed. Big up DG, who's been here all the time showing love. Odegaard needs to step up. We need the 22-23 Odegaard go out and attack teams.
We don't even need that. If I get the Odegaard we got earlier in the season, like in December, then I think we'd be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, rest in peace to Rocky, man. The last ones, just reel them off quick. I think the answers are pretty simple. Trossard, I feel like he's been in and out with injuries, but they're all been kind of minor. I think that.
Listen, I think Martinelli starts against Southampton anyway. I think, yeah. Look, Martinelli, Trossard
Brazil
is really
play in Brazil.
He's pissing me off, Trossard. No, I'm not sure they did play him. I think they might have been playing in New York.
Oh, okay. Well, still a long trek. Gabriel, I think for me it was obvious that
Yeah, of
the
course.
picture that below you when he got hurt the last time, they weren't taking any chances this time, and they weren't going to let him go to Brazil. They made a mistake doing that the last time, and they weren't going to do it now.
Listen, even if Martinelli did play, he's still at a rest. He's not injured. You know, like he plays once every 3 days for Arsenal.
The other one,
right?
though, was an interesting one, though, to me, right? Because right after the Cup, they were reporting about an injury to Saliba. We haven't really heard much more about it
scary
since.
because he didn't play against, who is it he didn't play against? Brighton he didn't play, innit? He missed that game, didn't he?
Brighton away, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't. All right, let's kind of round it off quickly. We got just a few things. I wanted to touch on this a little bit more, but then we'll preview kind of just the Champions League and the FA Cup game that's coming up, because that will be between now and the next show. But let's talk about Victor for a quick, not take too long, but he bagged a hat trick for Sweden last week. And of course, we've gone through so many different shows. We've discussed it ad nauseum about Victor and his fit with the football club. I actually feel like he's been getting better and better as the season has gone by. I think he's played key roles. He scored some key goals for Arsenal. I think he's going to go over 20 eventually. But Dan, first of all, the goals that he scored.
Hold on, I just want to reply to this.
Yeah.
It's slowing our game down. That might be exactly what we need in some of these Champions League games if we're leading 1-0, right? Or against Man City if we're leading 1-0. We might need Odegaard to come on and slow the game down if it gets a bit techie in the game. So,
but even if Man City away, I know people don't want to hear this. If we're playing for a draw, just as I've seen from that cup final, you just have Odegaard relieves the pressure and gets you up the pitch. That's all he needs him to do. It's a very simple task. And it changes losses to draws even at minimum. Like the side-to-side passing is not the worst thing, especially because sometimes when you're looking for control in games, I wish that away at Wolves we did more side-to-side passing. We didn't. Like there are some games where you just running up the clock.
Exactly what we should have done. City done it for years. They'd go 1 or 2-0 up, bop it about, and then
it's only when we're still 0-0 we're looking for a goal, which annoys the crap out of everybody. But it's a central part of the game. Barcelona did it for years. But back to Victor though. The 3 goals he scored. The first one is a tap in. We've seen him score many of those for Arsenal already this season.
There's one of the goals in there though, which was a great goal. But
that second one.
That second one in the Premier League though, man.
Where he goes in on the break. Yeah. I think he scored something similar though against Spurs.
Nah,
his second one against Tottenham, but he has not.
He smashed that in. He got past and he smashed it in. And listen, that goal was like a goal he scored for Sporting Lisbon, where he's faster than these defenders, stronger. The defenders in the Premier League are another level to that. I don't see him scoring a goal like that in the Premier League.
Yeah, and the last one obviously was a penalty, which he excels at. He's only actually had 2 of them this year for Arsenal.
Yeah,
which
one
is
against.
crazy.
You know what? I can't. I don't want to jinx it, but we've not conceded 1 penalty this whole season in the Premier League.
But also, we don't get many penalties. I mean, we had the one to bail us out in the Champions League, but in the Premier League,
we scored against Everton a penalty. Victor Gyökeres got the win of that game, and he scored one against Leeds. I think they're the only 2 penalties we've had, though.
Yeah, maybe there were ones where when he was away. Did Saka have one against West Ham or something? I remember we were talking about did Saka take it because he's the
Mikalenko is the EPL starting defender. Yeah, fair enough.
Well, but Zinchenko is out. He's got this really bad injury. He would have played, but Mikalenko, we played him the other week for Everton.
Yeah, I know. But listen, but the rest of them are not.
The real question is though, do you think that Victor Gyökeres will have do you think this will give him confidence? They're just seeing him hit the back of the net.
He's got a massive game today, and I really hope Sweden go through. I expect them. They're at home to Poland.
Against Poland,
I expect them to go through. It's going to be Gyökeres against Lewandowski. We could see that again. I've booked my flights to Barcelona early, nice and cheap, just in case.
But what if if it's Madrid, then whatever, you drive from Barcelona.
I'll get a train. I've done the same thing last year. I went to Barcelona and got a train from there. So that's what I'll be doing. But look. I hope he goes through tonight. That will give him a great boost. He'll be happy that he's looking forward to a World Cup. And, he'll want to win trophies with Arsenal and go to the World Cup on a high. I still think Victor Gyökeres is a funny one because again, I just feel like it's destiny for him to have a big moment soon. He's had one against Everton. If Dalman doesn't come on and score that game, he is, well, he was the match winner anyway, but the talks would have been more about how important his goal was.
We had the big one against Chelsea. I mean, it's all for naught now because we didn't go ahead to win the cup.
I feel like there's a big. He's probably got more goals than him, and I think they're going to be 4 or maybe 5 if we're lucky. I think there's going to be some big goals. Listen, he could score a goal that takes us to a Champions League final, or that wins us a Champions League, or that clinches us the Premier League title. This is the thing, with these players, right? Some people saying, Gyökeres is our top goal scorer. I think 16 goals. Is it 12 in the league? If he ends up with 15 and scores a crucial one, you're never going to forget that goal, and you're always going to be. And this is the thing with Odegaard, who's had a poorish season when he has played. He's been injured. Saka has been nowhere near his best. They've still got the chance to now, in these next potential 15 games, to have massive moments that when you're looking back on Premier League years on Sky Sports, as a show they do, or you're looking back on the Arsenal season, and there's going to be a moment where you look and Saka cuts it in and bends it in, and it means we win the game against Bournemouth or against Burnley or Fulham or Newcastle or Palace or whoever it might be, or against Sporting Lisbon to go through, or against Barcelona or
imagine scoring at the new camp. That's going to be That's going to be.
This is what I'm saying.
Will be the one that determines for me.
I fully expect him to score against Sporting Lisbon. Yeah. I just think that's written in the stars.
Yeah, we might as well transition to that as well. We might as well go straight into it. Our next game in the Champions League, I went with Champions League first before the FA Cup. We're going to be going to Sporting Lisbon. And again, I brought this up on my show. Everybody comes to kind of like rubbish the side. Anton, you're going too much. He didn't even have a good goal scoring record against the best teams in Portugal. Guys, if he may have been struggling to score goals in the Premier League, but one thing Victor Gyökeres knows is how to score goals in Portugal. He scored 101 goals in 97 games over 2 seasons in Portugal. That is more than any player on planet Earth. And in that stadium, he has scored more goals than anybody has ever scored in that stadium. That's his backyard. Mm-hmm. And for me, I think about the way that he left that club. He won them 2 Premier League titles, right? He had a handshake agreement with the president there. And Varandas, who's the president, basically left him for ransom when he kept saying, I want to go Arsenal, I want to go Arsenal, I want to go Arsenal. And I remember we were sitting there and it was like, come on, for fuck's sake, Fabrizio, where's the here we go? And they were haggling over the stupidest shit. And I even heard rumors, Fabrizio said that 24 hours before the signing was made, he actually called Ineos and offered him to Man United. And his agent and the player said absolutely no. And this is
dumped his girlfriend to play in red.
Yeah, that everything, right? But the disrespect, the way that they treated him going out the door, he won them 2 leagues. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm interested to see how they've
actually got a striker though. Is it Suarez? Who's got like
Suarez? Yeah, but his numbers still aren't what Victor Gyökeres was doing. Victor Gyökeres scored amounts of goals that league has never ever seen. As much as like there have been players who've been good in that league. Darwin Núñez is an example people bring up all the time. His numbers are still nowhere near. Yeah, I know. See, I've a very good attention to detail. I've been doing that on all of them. Putting the red and white ribbons on the trophy.
Very good.
But yeah, I think this has been my big prediction. I've been saying it, and I need it to happen, Dan. I said he's going to have a hat trick for Arsenal at some point, and it's good to know he's got some practice, because I think that next week he's going back to Portugal, and he's gonna give his first Arsenal hat trick against his former club.
Getting excited, man! I'm getting excited.
I feel it, guys. Like, sorry, this is the game where I remember you kept bringing up games earlier this season, Burnley away, Wolves, whatever. If you don't score in this game, Victor Gyökeres, I'm gonna be upset. You're gonna feel like you're letting us down. This game is what he's been fucking doing his whole career.
Yeah, facts.
Like if he doesn't score in this game, then it's legit. I'm like, Victor, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you have all the motivation, and I think that's why I think it was perfect for me. By the way, the difference between playing in Portugal versus playing in Norway, I mean, for all the away fans, they must have been partying before the game,
100%.
seeing
Yeah, I
that
mean,
that
I
result
was with
went through.
people that as soon as it went 2-0 to Sporting, they booked up to go to Sporting and got it really cheap. Once it went to 3-0, the set of once the game was done, the flights went way up, man. So yeah, big up. I was tempted to go to that one, but I'm saving it for hopefully will be the new camp. But yeah,
Yeah,
I've got about 5 more minutes, Anton,
yeah.
and I've got a shift. So what are we gonna finish
Easy.
off
So
on?
how are we feeling? Let's do this one, then we'll do the Southampton one, then we'll get out of here. How are we feeling about this tie overall? The first leg, the one that's next week Tuesday, I believe. Yeah,
Well,
Arsenal
I,
away
I
at
think it's a
Sporting.
nice tie to have against Sporting Lisbon. Are they where are they are they top of the league in over in Portugal? Are they? I can't.
Um,
Usually I know these things, but I can't say I
isn't it La
remember now.
Liga Portugal is what it's called?
Premier League, yeah. Look, I think it's a nice tie. It's a good quarter final to have. I
They're
expect us to win
second.
both.
Porto is
The
first.
second. How many points off are they?
7.
Yeah, I expect us to go there and win. Like you said, we beat them 5-1 not long ago. And even if we don't, I very much expect us to beat them at the Emirates. But look, I remember we played them in the Europa League and we were great that season too. And we went out on penalties, I believe. So listen, we can't take him lightly. And we know that Mikel most definitely won't. I expect us to win. Oh, they've got a game in hand as well. So they're right in that title race as well. So they're banging that title race. You know, if anything, they know they're not going to win the Champions League. So I'm not sure how they'll be with players, with resting players or not. You know, Man City now don't have to rest players. You know, when they play, they were not going to be playing in the Champions League. We have to kind of manage our squad. But yeah, I expect us to win both legs. I expect Victor Gyökeres to score probably in both legs, if I'm being honest. And I expect it to be quite comfortable, more comfortable than Bayer Leverkusen.
Yeah. Well, let's move on to the weekend because we have no idea who's going to play in this game, considering our
Yeah,
previous segment. Um, the question: are Arsenal going to book their trip back to Wembley? Um, will Arsenal play Southampton now? Southampton, on the other hand, let's take a look because Dan was looking
they're
at
fighting for they're fighting for
they're
the
only fighting for the
sixth.
playoffs.
They're fighting
Yeah.
for the playoffs.
All right.
But the
So
chance for them to go to Wembley, we beat them in the 2003 FA
they're on
Cup
6
final.
right now. They're on
Yeah.
level points with Wrexham.
We
That's
beat
the
them in
team
the
I want to see go up.
2003 FA Cup final. So I've got great memories of that. Robert Pires, I think, got the winner. Remember that day because I was moving house and was watching in the pub across the road from
So
the
we were
house.
in the yellow kits, weren't we?
And I was wearing a red kit. We will be wearing the yellow kits in that
No,
game.
no, as
Yeah, in the
in
final
that
that
game.
year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. Listen, it's a tricky one because 8 o'clock kickoff under the lights. They'll be up for it. They got a chance to go to Wembley. I think it's going to be a heavily rotated side. I don't think it's going to be an easy game. I don't. But listen, I think we might win it in extra time. If I'm being honest, I think
Oof.
some of the big boys may have to come on and win it in extra time.
I think this is one of these games where Arsenal just need to send a message. Like I think for me and you, I feel more nervous about this one than the Sporting game.
So do I.
Um, yeah,
So exactly my thoughts.
but what I want to see from Arsenal on the back of this cup final is to see us be assertive and be like, we're the Arsenal.
Yeah.
Like, you guys have been a great season. It's your home match, but we're the Arsenal. We are the best team in England, and we've rested these players as we've gone through it throughout the last couple of weeks. It's time for us to put our big boy pants on because the last thing we need right now is for us to then go out of the FA Cup.
Oh, 100%.
Like,
And that's it. Everyone is losing their minds, and yeah, 100%
so
agree.
I think that actually could be good for us. It makes this less of a trap game because we we have something that we have to prove. We need to get over the line.
Listen,
You
let's go
know,
back. Let's get back to Wembley, man. Let's get back to Wembley, and let's keep that treble alive. That's
yeah,
always been the main topic of the show. Let's keep the treble alive. I think we'll go through. I don't think it's going to be an easy game at all. I think extra time could even go to penalties. Look, I'm quite nervous about that game, if I'm being honest. But look, sometimes when I'm nervous like that, and I expect that, we're 2-0 up after 20 minutes. So
Yeah.
Let's hope for the best.
Let's
They are concentrating on getting. Listen, believe you me, their main target will be getting to the Premier League, the Holy Grail. So I wouldn't be surprised if they rest players. I don't think we can rotate like we did. You know, someone has just said rotate like everyone. No, I don't think we can do that. I don't think we can afford to do that. But listen, 3 days later, we do have a much bigger game. So it's a
we
tough
might
one.
just have to though because of the injuries, as the hand of Arsenal been saying. You
Yeah,
might just be forced into, but I don't think it's a by design. We don't want us to smash boring at the yeah. Look,
good point.
and for some reason, I hate to jinx it and be like,
These
hey,
games
you
literally
say we're
could
going to
define
win a
our whole
lot.
season. These next games, man, it's crazy, man. It really is. It's a
Yeah, and
crazy
by the way,
time.
I like the fact that we play them before we get back into the Premier League. I actually like
Yeah,
that. I
yeah.
think, I don't want to be fighting for points right away, and I don't want to be dropping points and people are like, oh no, that's the
Mhm.
worst thing. So it's good
Yeah.
for us to kind of get our legs together. Finally, thing before we go, Dan, let's go to this one, then we'll go back to the other one. Let's start scoreline predictions for the weekend. You said you think it'll be extra time. What do you think will be the scoreline?
Yeah, I'm gonna go for 2-1 Arsenal extra time.
I think I'm going to go with a 2-0. I think we'll keep a clean sheet. It's again not like a 2-0 where it's super comfortable. I
Mhm.
think it'll be more like kind of like an Everton form of 2-0. Maybe not as dramatic, hopefully, like where it's one for a while and we get one at the end. But yeah, I think 2-0. And there you go. Yusuf's got 3-0. See, I don't think that Southampton are mugs. I don't think we're going to roll over them. But
And we'll
if
quickly do Sporting Lisbon now. I'm gonna go for a 2-0 away win to the Arsenal.
Well, I have to. If I said Gyökeres is getting a hat trick, I have to put three at least as minimum, right? So I'm going to say 3-1 Arsenal. Gyökeres hat trick. So I got.
Big up. I'll go 2-0 Gyökeres to get a brace.
There you go. There you
There we go.
go.
Listen, thank you everyone for watching. You know, there's been on my side 18, 19 of you watching all the way through for an hour and a half.
Mm.
So I've got to thank each and every one of you, man. Big up Caps as well, who just come here now. Everyone who's watching it on the replay, please, it's a new show, guys. We will be here now every single Tuesday at 10 a.m. You can watch it on Fire Them Cannons. You can watch it on Goonies Therapy. Show some love to both channels. Help, listen, just send it out to your boys, send it out to your girls, and just yeah, man, just show some love and we'd appreciate it.
Yeah.
Help get this guy up to his next milestone of 200. Help us get to our next milestone of 2K. We really appreciate all the love. We appreciate you guys giving us your time because without you guys, there's no point in doing these shows. We love spending the time with you. I love spending time with Anton. And yeah, man, big up, man.
Yeah. And look, I just want to just say for a second, like the idea behind this show is to kind of give you guys, especially the Goonies Therapy crowd, your subscribers, something a little bit different that's not normal to this channel. A bit more of a discussion rather than always a debate. Being a little bit more informative. You see what I do in my channel. I got all these graphics and stuff, and I'm loving bringing that to these shows. And hopefully that
I love that message from Yusuf. Big up.
yeah, no, dude,
The
thank you
name
so
there,
much,
look,
man.
Danton. Yes, I like that.
Big ups, nah, honestly, yeah, like yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed all this type of stuff. This is some of the things that I've got going on my channel, but I like to have really break down and analyze the football matches and really talk about it rather than going back and forth always and always having arguments about it.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
so,
No,
yeah,
we've actually been able to talk today. Do you know what I mean? So it's good like that. Listen, the panels are great as well, and the arguments and all of that is good. But it's nice in the morning to have a nice show like this where we can sit down and discuss things properly, guys. As well, both all of you watching now, there's 15 on mine. I think there's 4 on yours right now. So all you guys now, please do me a favor. I've just done a video on real against fake Arsenal fans.
oh,
Yeah, I
do you want to
dropped it
do that
last.
before you go, by the way?
Say that again.
The DJB or
Uh, we we'll do it next time because I'm cutting it a bit
no.
fine. We'll do it next time because we'll be talking for ages after that.
Yeah.
Trust me. But yeah, look, I've just dropped a video, guys. So if you guys could please go and drop a comment on the video for me, and just let me know what you think. I'd really appreciate it. I uploaded it yesterday, so it'll be the latest video, not a live. It's a video, real or fake Arsenal fans. If you could drop a comment on that, drop a like. I'd really appreciate it, guys, man.
Real or fake injuries that we had today. Anyway, guys, thanks so much, everyone, for being here. Again, I'm so excited for what this show is going to look like as it evolves. Hopefully, next week we'll have a cool intro. I was
Yeah.
showing Dan backstage. I got some concepts going on, so this thing is going to get better and better and better week after week. And hopefully, we're talking about two massive wins that really make that treble dream look
Are
a
we?
lot more real.
Is Sporting on the Tuesday?
Sporting's, I believe it's on a Tuesday.
Wicked,
I'll
because
double check before we leave. Um, we play Sporting on the 7th. Yeah, Tuesday.
yeah. So well, listen. Next Tuesday we will be
We'll be before the game.
yeah
So it'll be
we'll be
all right. So we
previewing.
previewed earlier, but we'll do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
listen, that's going to be. But listen, we're going to know more about injuries. Then we're going to know if we're through against Southampton. And listen, when you do a stream on match day, it's always a really good stream because everyone's in the mood for it and waiting for it. So listen, next Tuesday could be our best show yet. So make sure you tune in. Thank you to everyone watching. Thank you for liking. Um, Cap says, please try not to get extremely argumentative with people in here, Dan. Thank you. Yeah, look,
Look,
listen,
I think at the same time, people are allowed to have a voice, and that's the beauty of it. You know what I mean? Like, we're not going to deny people because of their opinions.
that's it, man. Listen, it's one of them things, isn't it, guys? That's why we're trying to bring a different variety of shows. Some people may prefer to watch this show. Some may like to watch the Monday night show, or me and Dan are going to start another show with rival fans on Friday nights as well. There's a lot more happening. We're just getting started on this channel, just as Anton is. We'll be doing a lot more collaborations as well. So yeah, man, get the notifications on. That's the main thing, guys, so you know when we're on. Because sometimes I get a spare hour and I just do a live randomly on my own even sometimes. So please just get your notifications on. Thanks for watching. Peace out. We'll catch you on the other side.
See ya.